right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our WCW Retro Paper Review Series. This is the infamous WCW Halloween Havoc 1998. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into this. We got a lot to cover.
Let's go.
I'd like to call this pay-per-view the first nail in the coffin
Yeah.
of their demise.
The wheels started falling off here.
Yes, because Eric Bischoff, as arrogant as he is at this point, decides he thinks that the satellite and cable companies work for him, and at the time that he bought, he could go over and do whatever he wants.
Well, that's an oversimplification of what happened. They just we'll get into it later on. It wasn't
most people did not get to see the main event, myself included.
Yeah.
Everybody saw it the next night on Nitro.
Right.
But there are several things that I will get into over the course of this that they could have avoided this problem. So here we go. October 25th, 1998, Las Vegas, Nevada. Technically, it was Paradise, Nevada, but it's Vegas. Who cares? 10,663 on hand for what I would say one of the most stacked Halloween Havoc cards they have ever had. According to multiple writers, the best Halloween Havoc main event ever. It's not saying much, but the guys in the main event, they did put on a pretty impressive match.
Too bad nobody saw it until the next night.
Exactly. Or unless you were there.
Yeah.
I thought this type of card needed a bigger venue. I've said this before on several of their events that they could have.
What was the MGM Grand, right?
If they would have. Yeah, but I mean, only 10,000 on hand.
Yeah, it's not a big, but it's a famous. I mean, it's a famous arena. Mike Tyson used to fight over there. Mayweather, a lot of people. I understand what you're saying, but it's still a major arena.
It's still big,
and in Vegas especially, and that kind of became the home of Halloween Havoc. Las Vegas they won a few years.
Yeah, and they didn't, they didn't fail to deliver. Let's put it that way. So let's get into it. They started the night, and this is one thing that could have been a Monday Nitro thing, not tonight. Mean Gene is interviewing Rick Steiner about this, about the feud that they shit the bed on, waiting 6 months to face his brother, which was ridiculous. That Buff Bagwell comes out because Bagwell came to his aid last week on Nitro, and he wants to watch his back tonight.
Rick Steiner. He wants to be in Rick Steiner's corner, yeah.
Now think about it. He's watching his back tonight on a match that's not even signed yet.
No, I already knew that he was going to turn on him. We all knew. Like it was like.
But I mean, he's telling him he's got his back officially on the card.
Well, he assumed that he was going to
match and the no disqualification match. They weren't even on this card. They were made that night for the fans. I'm sure they already had it planned.
Right.
But nobody knew about it until that night. So he's got his back, and you're like, got his back for what? Turns out it'll be a tag title match. I'll get to that in a little bit.
It would be an honor.
Oh Lord, nobody's learning their lesson here, especially when you come out in street clothes. That's giving it away right there. But our opening match, I gotta say, was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was for the television championship, Chris Jericho versus Raven.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I love how they, if you watch it on Peacock now, they ad-libbed the WWE entrance themes in there, which kind of brought a little bit more into it.
Yeah, but I like the original.
I like Jericho's WCW theme, and I don't really remember Raven's if he had one. It's been so long ago.
I don't remember either. I mean, I did like the sound of the Raven and everything. But this was I think this is during the time where Raven it's revealed that he's really rich. Like he grew up like very wealthy and like
had the silver spoon in his mouth.
It was all an act, the whole grunge thing and everything.
Yeah, he wanted to disavow any knowledge that he had rich parents that
they were trying to do something new. Bischoff said he was never a fan of that whole grunge thing. I thought it worked perfectly with Raven, so I didn't want to see it go. But he said, oh, mainstream didn't really like it. I don't know. I disagree. I preferred grunge Raven during that whole, Nirvana, Soundgarden, all of that, that.
Oh, by the way, we did get our Johnny Polo comment. Somebody below had said that he believed that he was injured at the time.
Yeah, probably. I mean,
that's what I figured.
I don't know, maybe.
So, but yeah, there had to be a reason to the madness there. But I like the fact that Raven was like, "Oh, the powers that be." I wasn't even informed that I had a match tonight.
What about Raven,
bro? What about me? What about Raven? What about you, dude?
Then
Now, this is
Jericho.
at the time too that they got rid of the flock. The flock is pretty much disbanded.
What did he? Yeah, yeah. What did Jericho call him? Jericho called him something. I forgot. I should have wrote this
Oh, he
down.
went off on him.
Yeah, Jericho went off on him. And then the match because he wasn't gonna fight him, and
No, he
then
was
he
going to
ends up
leave until Jericho just niched him a little bit
right, right,
more,
right,
and
right, right, right.
Raven comes back in the ring. And I mean, these guys went at it tooth and nail. It was a great match.
That was.
Canyon comes down. I like he's sporting the Mets hat. Thank you, Canyon. I appreciate that. But I think Canyon came down a little too early because I caught this on the replay that he was already standing at ringside waiting to jump
Mm,
up. Like I think it was supposed to be all done at once. That's why the
maybe
camera
yeah.
kind of wasn't on him. But he jumps up. Jericho actually hits him. Um, Raven tries for the second time to do the even flow on Jericho. Jericho counters, puts him in the lion tamer. Raven immediately taps
Okay.
out, and his losing streak continues, which I did not like at this point. Jericho keeps the television title, and Raven doesn't look good at this point. We've said this on a previous episode. I thought that besides ECW, which was one of Raven's best runs in his career, that his WCW run was pretty impressive.
It
But
was.
at this point, it was starting to hit a downward spiral to where
Mm,
he had no choice and to go, oh, my contract's up. I'm going to get out of
yeah.
here, unfortunately. So Chris Jericho wins. And I couldn't tell really who the fan favorite in this match was, considering they were both acting like a bunch
Yeah,
of
Jericho
brats.
was kind of a heel. Yeah, so
So following this, another segment we could have done without Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan
yeah.
coming out.
This is why they went over. This is why they went over because these damn
Oh,
segments.
how about four Nitro Girl
Yeah, yeah. What?
segments,
What for what?
three imprompt matches that weren't scheduled, and a prolonged Sting injury? All could have all
All
could
could
have
have been
gone away.
avoided. Yeah, yeah.
Let's put it like this, dude. Mayhem '99 had more matches on the card than this one. This one had 12 total. They had more matches on that card that night, and they still pulled it out
Yeah,
in
but
under 3 hours.
Vince Russo, so let's not.
But this is no,
Let's
but
not.
that was one of their
Let's not.
best pay per views
Well,
ever.
it was
Mayhem '99.
it was their best pay per view of 1999 for sure.
Bret Hart and
But
Chris Benoit in the main event.
right, but I mean, the bar was very very low in 1999. So
Ouch. That's not saying a lot for your boy there,
so
Dan. That ouch.
yeah.
Ooh. I mean, I know Jarrett was on that card, man, but don't do
No,
Brett
it's
like that.
Russo. No, I'm not because of Brett. I'm saying the bar was very low as far as pay per views in 1999.
Unfortunately,
Disaster.
especially by the end of '99,
Yeah. So yeah, Hogan and
they
pointless.
showed the whole nonsense with
Yeah,
Horace Hogan.
who cares?
His dead brother's
Who
kid. Yeah,
cares about
exactly.
Horace Hogan? You have the thing with Hogan and Ward. You don't need this Hogan angle going on here. Unnecessary, time
No, we don't.
consuming.
And to me, also, to me personally, there wasn't enough hype and build up for this second rematch from WrestleMania. That to me, it's almost like they didn't care. And we'll get to that in a little bit later on. Next match on the card that could have been a time
Hogan. Well,
eliminator.
I just want to
better.
I just want to mention real quickly the thing with Horace Hogan was he kind of dropped the ball. So then they gave him a beating. For those that don't know, he basically he didn't live up to what he was supposed to live up to. And anyway, later on, we'll get into that later.
He passes the test.
Yeah,
okay.
So,
this match honestly could have been done the next night on Nitro. It was Wrath against Ming. I feel like we're going back 2 years on this thing. I don't know. I don't know the reasoning for the match. Again, I don't know who anybody's cheering for because the fans don't even look like they're involved in this match. I mean, it was also a very short match. Wrath with a gut wrench power bomb on Ming and gets the pin. Pretty much the fans cheered that because of the impressive strength that Wrath had to get Ming up. Mm-hmm. Spoiler, Ming jumped into it. Let's not give Wrath a whole lot of credit. So he beats Ming here, and this match, to me, did not need to be on this card. So, not to mention the fact that the next match on the card, you had a number one contenders match for the Cruiserweight title. Why didn't you do this the following week and sign them one match for this night? Why did you have to do that plus have the Cruiserweight title match? I have no idea. But they did. It was Juventud Guerrera versus a very fat Disco Inferno, and there's no way in hell he's getting into that.
From Brooklyn, New York. Are we claiming him or no?
No. Hell no.
This is a
Hell
Nitro
no.
match. This is a damn Nitro match, man.
This is a Thunder match. What are you talking about?
Maybe, yeah, maybe even
You know,
Thunder. Yeah.
this whole thing where Billy Kidman's saying that Disco is screwing around with the scale. I don't even know what their cruiserweight limit was in WCW. I think it was like, I don't know if it was 215,
I don't know.
225. Either way, Disco looked like he was 240.
Yeah, Disco. Yeah, he was solid. He was in good
He
shape.
was eating too many of those roasted pepper sandwiches, you know?
Yeah, he's in good
He's from
shape.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, good shape.
John Travolta over here.
That's what he was supposed to
But
be. Yeah, but anyway.
yeah. That, I mean, I liked
Tony
it,
Manero. It was
but I
Tony
didn't like
Manero,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Tony Manero.
But in any event, I mean, the match itself wasn't bad. You know, I've always been impressed with Juventud Guerrero's ability in the ring.
The
Which,
juice.
by the way, Mike Tenay was doing full commentary on this whole pay per view with Bobby and Tony. So I like to hear his, everything that Tenay has to say. He's very informative on the wrestlers. I love that part about him. And of course, he'll get, he's giving Hoobie's backstory. He doesn't have Disco's backstory because he doesn't really. We don't need it. But Disco with a jumping pile driver as his finisher. He beats Juventud Guerrero, so he'll go on later in the evening and face Billy Kidman for the Cruiserweight Championship. So now following this is another thing we did not need because now Scott Steiner comes out trying to get his line, right for all the fans because this guy sucks on the microphone. He can't talk. He can't execute it. I'm sorry.
Steiner's good.
Wait till he gets to TNA with that math of his.
No, I think Steiner when they let him do whatever he wants to do, I think he's good on the mic. When he just
like the night he goes change the channel because WCW sucks. That's the best thing he's ever said.
Going off on Ric Flair, I think he was really good on the mic. But this is another waste because you're killing time, and this is why they went over because of stuff like this. There's no point. So.
Yep. So he challenged Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell. Mm-hmm. Now I believe the tag champions were Scott Hall and the Giant. But according to, apparently the NWO could not only do whatever they want, they're establishing the Freebird rule. So apparently he's going to take the tag title, him and the Giant, and he's challenging his brother.
Right.
So JJ Dillon comes out and says, okay, if you lose this match, you will face your brother in a 15-minute time limit match, which was labeled a no disqualification match, which is funny considering they rang the bell during that. I'll get to that later. So every time he's saying, if you lose, and Scott's like, I won't. I'm not. I'm like, dude, shut up so we can get done with this segment. You got the 800-pound Stay Puft Marshmallow Man sitting behind you that's just letting himself go at this point. Yeah, let's have a tag
Giant was
match.
Hilarious, though, when he was smoking the cigarettes during this era. It was just so funny.
Yes. It's almost like he didn't care. Like, he's like, please fire me.
Yeah, he had gained some weight there.
Oh, yeah.
Getting big.
So we've got that match set up for later on in the evening. Our next match on the card is also a match we could have done without. Alex Wright versus Fit Finley.
Yeah.
And this is to avenge his father.
Yeah, this was supposed to be Eddie Guerrero. It was supposed to be Eddie Guerrero versus Das Wonder Punk. But
we could have done without that too.
Eddie missed his flight, I believe. I think he missed his plane or something like that.
So they had a quick storyline to where Fit Finley did harm to his father in the ring.
They should just axe this match completely. They should just axe the match completely. Is what they should have done. Yeah,
I agree. There were 3 matches that said he should have axed. This is the second one.
You got to get to the main event. You have to get to that main event.
You got to focus on those last 4 matches you had on the card. I'm also putting Hall
the main event. But I'm saying how can you not have the main event? Think about that.
Exactly. So anyway, your whole card is based around those last 4 matches, which
it's just poor management, man. Poor time management. They tried to shove too much in there. Bishop said they thought they could get to the time, and people were missing cues.
Arrogance and ego.
I think it's just. I don't even know if it's arrogance and ego. I think it's just like incompetence. I think that's what it is.
That too.
So
I agree.
Anyway, who goes over? Who is this match?
Well,
I fell asleep on it.
Alex Wright with a neck breaker.
Yeah, nobody cared. Okay.
And he pins Finley. Yeah, nobody did care because it was a 5-minute match.
I didn't give a shit. Moving along.
The fans were chanting boring they were going to play craps for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
They didn't care. Oh, you think they cared about that match? Well, let me get to the next one. It's Saturn and Lodi.
Yeah.
Who hired this fuck stick?
It was supposed to be Bulldog. Bulldog got in. Lodi replaced Bulldog because Bulldog got hurt. Remember the whole trapdoor thing? I think it was War Games.
Oh yeah, where he's blaming Warrior. I almost broke
Yeah,
my neck on his trap door. Man, shut up.
it's not Warrior's fault. It's whoever set that thing up. If that story is indeed
Yeah,
true, um,
if it's
so
true,
that's how
exactly.
Lodi got on the. That's how Lodi wound up in the position. This is another Thunder slash
Another
Nitro
one
match. Nobody
they
cared.
could
The
have just
crowd didn't
squashed
care.
it.
The crowd did not care about this match.
I never cared about Lodi. Period. Every time I see him, I always look and go, "Who hired him?
Like I,
He's a sign guy."
like you asked me before, it was the guy with whoever had the sign was probably some executive that was like, yeah,
He comes out with a bunch of signs. I love Texas. I get revenge. Good
I
for
don't,
you. You
I
shouldn't
don't,
be here. Go to ECW. The Dudleys would love to beat the hell out of you at this point. All right, come on.
no,
New Jack will have fun with you.
no Jesus Christ. Anyway,
But in any event, Saturn looked pretty good in his new look. He's got the Ranger outfit with the kind of grunge thing going there. No moppy, thank God, because this was peak Saturn that I actually liked. From '98 to kind of before he left in Revolution. I kind of like this Saturn. He's more aggressive. Again, another guy they didn't give a chance to. He was better in ECW. I'll give him that. But in any event, this was a very short match. Thank God. Um, what was made it even more stupid was Lodi leaves the ring to retrieve his signs that they're bringing to the back, and I'm like,
yeah,
what are we doing here?
waste. They should just cancel this
When I
thing.
said when I tell you this pay per view was the first nail in the coffin, it's not just cutting the main event and not getting to see it. It's all the stuff that they did on this card
Well,
was the
that
first,
if they could have
was the start of it.
if they could have cut it out. I mean, I don't know.
So I mean, he hits the Death Valley driver on Lodi and gets the victory. Saturn's the victor. Would I have rather have seen Saturn and Bulldog? No, I would have. That could have been a Monday Nitro match. To be honest, because again, you got to focus on the last four matches of your card, and then just have a few other little matches. But those four should have been like the only thing they focused on for the evening. So next match on the card was Cruiserweight Championship. Billy Kidman defending the title against Disco Inferno.
Just go.
Um, this was all right. You know, again, not a Disco fan. I am a Kidman fan. Disco hit the that jumping pile driver. I think it was. He tried to go for it twice. I believe he hit it once. He couldn't get the pin on Kidman. Kidman wound up getting his energy back, gets him set up, hits the shooting star press, which I love when he did it, and he keeps his title, and he's still the cruiserweight champion. Again, they could have had the number one contenders match on Nitro and done this at the pay per view, or just done this all on Nitro. Because again, tonight is not about any of this. So, next match on the card is for the WCW Tag Team titles: Scott Steiner and the Smoking Giant versus Rick Steiner and Buff Bagwell coming out in jeans. If anybody has seen WCW in the past, you know street clothes is not a good sign. And I already knew this was coming. I mean, Buff Bagwell, he's not leaving the NWO. What are you kidding me? Yeah, he somehow, and I don't even know if he'll go down in the record books as becoming the tag team champion because he jumps he jumps Rick Steiner during this match and leaves. So now Rick Steiner's fighting a 2-on-1 match that he wins. He from the top rope, a drop kick, and it took him like 10 minutes to get up there. Oh my God. Rick's just looking. I thought he was going to go, come on, we got to go. Hits Scott Steiner with the drop kick.
Because
Rick hits the top rope bulldog. Yeah. Hits the top rope bulldog on the Giant and pins him, and Rick Steiner's the tag team champions. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Buff is going to go down in it. Probably because the contract would say Buff Bagwell's name on it. Or Vacant gets it. Who knows? So now Rick has got his long-awaited match with his brother. Because, dude, and I've said this feud, Scott turned on him in February. Why did you wait 6-7 months to do this match? This should have been an uncensored slamboree, spring stampede, whatever. They should have done this immediately, and it culminate in a steel cage for all I care. But no, they're waiting until Fall Brawl and then Halloween Havoc to finally do this, and I didn't understand it. And it was a shitty match to begin with because Scott's running away from his brother. The Giant's trying to get involved. Oh, here's the best part. And then, somebody in a Bill Clinton mask comes out.
Right.
Turns out to be Bagwell.
Yeah. Why didn't Bagwell just come out?
I'm sorry. Yeah, what?
Why didn't he just come out
regular? I don't know.
What was the point of him dressing up? Comes out with the flapjack, hits the ref.
Yeah, and then they ring the bell. But this is a no disqualification match. Come on,
Remember he was trying to pin him? Remember he was trying to...
Yeah,
he was taking the knockout referee. But he kept kicking out.
And Rick is kicking out. By this point, this is a clusterfuck. I'm sorry. Because
overly complicated.
Yes. Rick Steiner hits the top rope bulldog on Scott Steiner. Nick Patrick comes out to count the 3. So Rick Steiner's a winner on two different occasions tonight.
Back to back, yeah.
Which is ridiculous considering, like I said, no DQ match, but they rang the bell. I don't know, man. By this point tonight, WCW. The producers in the back with the run sheet are going, that's it, the hell with this. They're running the asylum. So the next thing, and they should have done this for each match going forward tonight, but they didn't. They only did a video package build up for Scott Hall and Kevin Nash.
Right, yeah.
Which I thought was very well done.
No, it was good.
The fall that Scott Hall's taking at this point, the throwing up on Bischoff, on Nitro and everything. So these two are going to go at it. He comes out pretending to be drunk. I love that. He's got the drink in his hand and he's coming out all staggering. He ain't staggering. He put the boots to Kevin Nash in this match. This was a pretty good match with a very crappy ending. Because Kevin Nash, the first powerbomb scared me.
Yeah, it was.
Because I thought he dropped him on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
He gets Hall up, drops him in the jackknife powerbomb, does it again, and then walks out.
And then he walks out because it's his friend.
Scott Hall gets the victory.
He's not going to pin him because it's his friend.
And then they're going to get back together in 2 months.
He'll beat the hell out of him, but he won't pin him because he's his friend. I didn't like this. I liked them fighting, but I didn't like the whole alcoholism angle. I thought it was poor taste. I didn't like what they did with Hawk because it was.
And I didn't like when they did it with Jake.
Scott Hall was having real problems with battling alcoholism.
All these guys were, because remember SummerSlam they did it with Jake Roberts 2 years prior with Lawler, and I don't like when they bring that into it.
No, they could have done something else, like just the whole jealousy of I'm the reason why the NWO took off.
Exactly.
They could have done something like that. I'm
the one that got it started. I showed up first.
That's what they should have done. That's what they.
I get no respect.
So. But
no, I'm going to help you win the world title. That the second nail in the coffin is Starrcade, and then the third one being the finger poke of doom, and then we're all going to be friends again.
Oh Lord Jesus!
Exactly. So, in any event, next match on the card was for the United States Championship. No video build up for this one. Bret the Hitman Hart defending the title against Sting.
The Scorpion Deathlock versus the Sharpshooter.
And I didn't like the fact that this type of Bret Hart. This wasn't the heel that we saw in WWE. This was a bitter, pissed off. I think this was true to the heart, Bret Hart, because at this point he knew that he had made a big mistake coming here.
Going there, yeah.
So I think this was the way he was acting was really how he felt. The way this match went was pure garbage. The referee goes down, and let's back it up a minute. How about the fact that he has a foreign object in his hand like brass knucks? Falls out of his hand. Sting tries to use it.
Mm-hmm.
The referee stops him, and then Bret low blows him. And, of course, Sting on the apron, the ref checking on him. That's when the referee went out. Sting accidentally elbowed him. And, of course, Bret's like, cool. Leg drops the referee. And then I actually thought this was a little scary, too, because you remember Sting superplexed Bret. They wound up hitting the referee. They landed on his legs and whatnot. And the referee, if that hurt, man, he had to do a good job of not going, oh, shit, because I'm sure, two guys landing on it, it's going to hurt. This is what I didn't like. Bret using Sting's bat, repeatedly beating the crap out of him.
Oh, yeah.
This is not the Bret Hart we know that we've grown up accustomed to. I don't even want to hear that, this is a new and improved. No, bullshit. This was garbage. This should have been gone over clean, regardless if he's a heel or not. This is one of the first times on pay-per-view that these two guys are going to face each other. I mean, you crapped the bed on this one big time.
Yeah, they did. It wasn't. I don't think it was good.
And so Brett puts him in the sharpshooter for no reason, and Sting is knocked out at this point. Referee, calls for the bell. Brett keeps the title. And the other thing that prolonged this night was the constant, Sting with the stretcher to the ambulance and all this stuff. That took way too long. So I didn't like that segment either. So we're going to go from bad to worse now because the next match on the card with no video buildup really to kind of boost it up for you. The rematch from WrestleMania 6, and I hate to say that.
Well, they had showed, I think, earlier in the
before the show went on the air, they kind of showed a little bit.
Showed a little bit of what was going on. This is
but it just felt like they just wanted to have the match and be done with it.
Yeah,
and I thought
it wasn't the same. The problem was it just wasn't the same. When Hogan fought Warrior, it was 8 years earlier. It was babyface versus babyface, the unstoppable force, champion versus champion. Mm-hmm. It had a great feel to it. This didn't feel the same. Warrior was kind of different over there in WCW. This was Hollywood Hogan. I don't know. It just didn't.
Now, several writers have accused Bischoff of hiring Warrior just so Hogan.
Well, it was the Warrior that accused him of that. It was the Warrior.
Well, there was a couple of writers too.
Yeah, I mean, it could be true. It could be true.
And when Bischoff he denied all of that, they just said, and I quote, "You're drinking your own Kool-Aid," because I believe that they brought him back just to do this. Well, just to embarrass him.
I don't think that's why Bischoff would bring him back, but that's why Hogan would want him back. And Hogan is the one that went to Bischoff to bring him back. So
and look at the type of match that Hogan gave us with the Warrior. Trying a fireball, he botched that. He knocks the referee out. Here comes Horace Hogan.
This was a terrible match.
This was a horrible match. This is probably one of the worst matches of all time. And that's sad.
Definitely on pay-per-view. Definitely on pay-per-view.
Yes.
I was sad because I was such a huge Warrior fan. And obviously, I was still a fan of Hogan, even though it was Hollywood. But it didn't work. And yeah, like you said, Horace comes out. Warrior's about to gorilla press him. And then Horace.
Let's not forget Stevie Ray, Vincent.
Yeah, it was just
all coming out.
Well, at least he didn't go over clean, right? At least he didn't go.
No, because he hits Warrior with the chair and Hogan just pins him. Yeah. And I'm like, what kind of garbage? What this is bullshit.
And then they were gonna light him on fire.
Yeah, he's got the lighter fluid, and Doug Dillon's just like, okay, no, you're not doing that.
You're going too far right now.
I can't see how Warrior would have agreed to sign a contract to come back and be embarrassed like this, unless he didn't know. But he had to.
No, he didn't know. Warrior didn't know.
Man, I thought this was a very low point for WCW, especially for Hogan.
I told the story.
I lost a lot of respect for him.
Yeah. I mean, I told the story when I went to an event the Warrior was giving. This was somewhere in Jersey, and he was taking questions. It was a Q&A and everything, and somebody had asked him about that, and he's like, if I would have known that they were going to bring me back just to do that, just to Hogan to get his victory, I wouldn't have even gone. He said, but then he said, that's all right. I took their money. He got paid well, and he was only there for a few months, and he got a good chunk of change. So, but yeah, this was garbage.
It really was. It could have gone such a different way to where they could have built up the third and final match.
And then Warrior leaves right after this. He's only there for like another week, I think, and then that's it. He's gone.
What was the point of sticking around? So the NWO could beat the crap out of you every week?
No, he didn't leave. They just kind of said,
don't come back.
Yeah, they paid him whatever they owed him. Good job, Hogan. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So now on to the main event of the evening, which most people did not get to see because once they locked up, the feed cut.
Yeah, because they were already at the 3 hour mark. By the time they locked up, they're already at the 3 hour mark.
Yeah, that was Goldberg defending the WCW title against Diamond Dallas Page, who won the right to face Goldberg at War Games. Mm-hmm. And I was one of the people that watched this live, and my feed got cut. And I cursed out DirecTV on the phone, and they were like, sir, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, sorry. I hung up the phone.
My story is I saw it. I don't remember if it cut out. I have to assume it did. I went to my friend's house who had a hot box, but I would imagine that it went out too, like because it was just the cable companies that cut the most of the cable companies cut the feed because the time allotted was only 3 hours, I think. Yeah. I just don't remember. But either way,
I didn't get to see it. I saw it on Nitro the next night.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, and by that point,
It was a great match, though. We already knew what happened, but it was a great match.
This was one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah, and Goldberg.
I said it in the beginning of this best main event of Halloween Havoc.
Maybe Goldberg's best match. Definitely one of them.
Yes,
definitely one of them.
Him and Page going toe to toe. Page not backing down from him.
Page was over. This is babyface versus babyface. Page was over. He had already proved himself throughout '97 that he could get main eventer. You know, so it's a shame that they just ran out of time, and then they had a refund. Apparently, they had to refund a lot of money, millions of dollars.
Oh yes, I got mine.
Yeah, so
because when I filed the complaint with them, they're like, "Well, we'll look into it." Next thing you know, I call them back. They told me 48 hours, and they're like, "Yeah, apparently you're not the only one." I'm like, "Yeah." I mean, Jesus, 30 million people probably watch this thing, and half of them didn't get to see it.
More than half of them.
And they missed one hell of a match live because, I mean,
the diamond cutter
Goldberg goes for the jackhammer. Oh, yeah, reversed the jackhammer into the diamond cutter, but couldn't crawl over to get the pin right away. Tries to suplex Goldberg. Goldberg reverses that into the jackhammer, and he gets the pin.
That's it.
And they shook hands at the end of the night with the mutual respect. There, I really did love this match.
Yeah, it was great.
It's just a shame that we didn't get a rematch from that. It's a shame we didn't get to see this live.
And not only that, it's a shame. It's a shame that this match was so good, and yet Halloween Havoc 1998 is not known for that match.
No, it's known for the stinker prior to it.
It's known for Hogan versus Warrior Stinkfest and the fact that it went off the air before most of the country got to see it live.
Yeah, because I asked some wrestling fans or some friends of mine that watch wrestling. I'm like, okay, you remember Halloween Havoc? Yeah, what's the first thing that comes to mind? I'm like, oh, that garbage Hogan match.
Yeah. Yep. I will say this: the production was excellent of Halloween Havoc, though. Like, if you look at the way the arena looks, like the entrance and everything,
the stage, yes. They always did good with that.
It looked really good, and you had some good storylines in there. It's just that it didn't come together, and the
12 matches, 2 of them weren't even official until that night.
Yeah,
I mean, if you cut this back down to 8 and focus on, like I said, those last 4 matches, which are your bread and butter for this pay-per-view, you've got it.
Yeah, you still had Wolfpack and NWO.
Hollywood
at that time. So Bischoff said things were already starting to fall apart, but unfortunately.
But this was the first official nail in the coffin.
There's so many.
To me, I think this is the first official night. The whole, pretty much, you can count the whole night as that's it. That's the first one.
Yeah. So
if you can find one prior to that, let me know.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there.
All right. Okay, I'll give you another one. Goldberg and Hogan not putting them in a 100,000 capacity, doing that title match on a Nitro instead of waiting for a pay-per-view where they could sell out the Georgia Dome and get 80 to 100,000 people in there. Oh no, we're just going to tell everybody 3-4 days in advance.
Well, if you talk about money wise, then yes. But as far as storytelling, that was great. That was a great story. So I wouldn't just financially that didn't make sense, but I wouldn't say that was actually a bad thing necessarily. But maybe it was short-sighted, and maybe that led to things down the road. But anyway, that is our episode. Please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.